Bootleg Like Jazz is a mix of the Black diaspora and the Afro-Latinx experience. It's a podcast that celebrates artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who considers themselves an underdog doing their thing. You see, when jazz started out, it was considered trash, devil music, bootleg by everybody. But now look, jazz is a degree program at some of the finest universities here in the United States of America and beyond. That's bootleg like jazz. This idea that no matter what, the rose will grow through the concrete jungle. Hey everybody, thank you for watching Bootleg Like Jazz. I'm your host Q. Want to give a big shout out to KPFT Studios for letting us come in and bring some amazing content to you today. Today I want to talk about a few different things. But one thing I'm going to talk about is, should I study abroad? This is a question that I hear a lot. I get asked that a lot. And I decided to bring a episode about it for you all. Before I go further, hey, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that button, share it with people, tell people about it, consider purchasing some merch, and supporting. But yeah, let's talk about it. Should you study abroad? It's a great question. It's also a complicated and difficult question, right? Because on one hand, you maximize your time on the planet by traveling, right? Right. You know, you can spend money, but you can earn it back. But time, you got to do what you can with what you have. But on the other hand, as far as where you live and home and friends, things slow down, things stop, or sometimes even worse, or maybe for the better, relationships break up, or you lose connections. But I mean, when you are on that plane, on that flight, when you are eating the food, walking the streets, when you are in those cultural spaces, a lot of that stuff just kind of goes out the window. So should you study abroad? I don't know. What do you want, right? What is it that matters to you? And then think about that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? Is what you're looking for, is what you're wanting. If you go and do that, how are you going to feel about it 5-10 years down the road? I think that's an important question that you have to ask. When I was reaching out to people and talking to people, a lot of people didn't say that, right? A lot of people didn't really talk about those things. But what they talked a lot about was how much fun you're going to have. And it's true. My experience, and I lucked up, right? But I think that if you do study abroad, you really do have to live with a host family. So food as well. Understanding the culture, the nuances, goes hand in hand with living with people who live there, who are from there, and who will speak English to you with an accent. If you go check out my very first episode of Bootleg Like Jazz, it was called Black à l'étranger, which translates to Black abroad, right? I just love that juxtaposition of the words. You'll hear a little bit more about my experience living with the host family. If you lived on your own, okay, yeah, you lived on your own. But there's something about, living with a family from that culture. You really get the rhythm, the vibe, and the feel of the place. You learn about places that other people don't. So like for me, I went with a third-party program, and they had an agreement with my university. So yeah, I had to do all of the, pre-work is what I like to call it. You gotta make sure you gotta make sure that the program and what they're offering you in that program matches with your degree program and what the university says is all right, right? You gotta go and do that. You could do things on your own, but you can also use their resources, their platform. I use their resources and I use their platform. So, you do that, do the visa, figure out where you're going to live with, get yourself ready, and you go. For me, man, I tell you what, from Tuesday to Sunday, I ate dinner with those family and I was gone. I realized that what my goals of coming there did not mean watching French TV till 11 o'clock at night, living in France. No, I need to go out and meet people, and I did. And there's, that really makes your trip memorable. That's also how you make friends and have friends in foreign countries that you can tap into and say, hey, I'm coming through. You have a couch, and they're like, yeah. And then there's dinner, and then y'all hang out. But if you're out there thinking, should I study abroad or whatever, I'm going to personally say, do it. It's worth it. And you can go for different, time lengths. You can do a month. You can do the summer. You can do a semester. You can do a year, 2 years, 3. It's what you want. Who do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Who do you want to be? And then you also have to ask yourself that question, the biggest question you got to ask yourself is, what do you want? And then what do you want for yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And then when you answer that question about what you want, then that can help you answer how long you want to be there. I'll be honest with you. 1 year is too short. Straight up. I say, and especially if you're trying to learn a language, 2 years minimum. I'm gonna be very honest with you. All right, and let me explain. Let me unpack that. What I mean by that is this: like, I had a dope host family, and like that's a very important part. Now, some people that I know, they consider them not a host family. They call what did he call them? They call them just people just renting a room or whatever. And that's true, and that happened. That happens. That does happen. But my host family, man, engaged me in conversation all the time. Partied all the time. And really, like, checked in on me, would talk to me. I mean, I swear to you, like, they were awesome, and I'm still friends with them. Like, we're still social media friends. And if I post something about me going to Europe, they're like, when you're coming through, let's hang out. Like, but not everybody had those experiences, and that's true. But like, if you do have a somewhat decent host family or better, your language skills just increase. I think of it like this. Imagine being in the United States of America and you're learning Spanish, okay? Once you leave that classroom, what about your environment is pushing you to think in that language? And that's the key. Once you're able to think in that foreign language and dream, you've arrived.